Jonathan. Podcast time, man.
Podcast.
Hey, Scott. Welcome to the podcast. Best intro ever. Okay, say your line from here. Hi, everybody. I'm Scott. And I'm Luke.
And I'm Jonathan.
And this is the No Way to Hollywood podcast.
You may be wondering why. It's the No Way to Hollywood podcast. Because no one will hire us after that event right there.
Hey, Scott. Thanks for joining us. I'm glad to be here, guys. Oh, my goodness.
He knew it wasn't going to work. He knew it wasn't going to work. He did it anyway.
And now I'm laughing too hard. So, we're back, and we're going to do another 10 films from the AFI's Top 100 list. Hopefully, you're as psyched about this as I am to see a list of movies I've never seen. I'm pretty sure you've seen at least one of these, Luke, but I could be wrong about that. Okay. We'll start out at number 90. Number 90 is a movie called Swing Time. Has anyone ever heard of it?
Pass.
Oh boy. I mean, I know about music, swing music. Like,
I mean, I'm a drummer. I know how to do swing time.
This might be the quintessential Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers movie. Oh, do they dance in roller skates? Because my daughter would love that. I don't know about roller skates, but Swing Time is a 1936 American musical comedy film set in New York City and starring Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Features a lot of other people. And that's all they tell me about it.
I will watch it for Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers because I haven't seen any of those. Otherwise, I don't particularly care.
I was actually just today going to show my daughter the where they dance in the roller skates. So I don't know which movie that is. Maybe it's from that one. I don't know. So yeah, scenes. Big names. A reason to see movies. Coming in at number 89, this is the film I'm hoping Luke has seen. Number 89 is The Sixth Sense. Yeah, I saw it. Woo! I already knew the ending though, so it's like, well, that's kind of obvious. So that is a movie that it'd be interesting to see kind of for the first time.
You basically that was stolen from you,
right? So I never got to see it for the first time in the sense of like, oh, you get to go in and be like, whoa, at the end, right? No spoilers here, but like, what would it be like to see a movie like that in that way? That'd be interesting. But it was fine. It was fine.
That's one where I'm kind of interesting. I kind of wonder if that really is deserving to be on the list because I don't know. Like it is certainly certainly a pop culture moment. It's a well done movie, and it does have a big twist at the end that many people did not see coming. But certainly by modern audiences standards, I don't know that would ever. Like I don't even know if it works anymore for somebody who hasn't seen it and doesn't actually know the spoiler. Like I wonder if it even works anymore. And that's just a curiosity on a filmmaking. How have audiences gotten smarter over the last 20 years about how stories are told? But of course, it can just be in there. I'm just curious if it really will last.
Yeah. Well, and are there other movies from him that would be better, right? Like
according to many people think that all of his movies except for that one suck. I don't agree. I think that Unbreakable's really good. Yep. I do enjoy Signs, though I can understand that's not necessarily his strongest, but I do enjoy it. Anyway, so
yeah, it's interesting. All right. Number 88. Hey, Scott, did you see it? Come on, man. You're like saying nothing. You're mostly just reading. Well, I was going to do that, except you guys said everything I could possibly think about The Sixth Sense.
But you've seen it.
I saw it in the theater. Like, when it first week or two it came out, I believe it was like the first R-rated movie I saw without my parents. So how was that experience for you? Mostly forgettable.
Wow.
The big plot twist at the end was like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it was a well done movie, though. It was a good story.
So
and-
so even back then, you were advanced enough as an audience member to be like, whatever,
I mean,
whatever.
it was more disappointing to me because I was like, oh, big plot twist, and I don't care anymore. So I think that was the biggest one for me.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like I
He's
said,
dead. Why would I care?
it was never a movie I ever
You said no
considered
spoiler.
buying on DVD. You know, it's like I've seen it once and it's done for me.
Right, and that's where like a movie where you've got a where it's kind of one trick pony, right? Like
And this is where I'll make a brief argument that Signs could be better than Sixth Sense because Sixth Sense versus Signs is Alfred Hitchcock's tension versus like mystery,
Yes.
right? Like
Yes.
suspense versus mystery. So Sixth Sense is you don't really know what's going on. In the end, you find out what's going on, and you're like, oh, okay. Whereas Signs is the entire time there's a level where you don't know what's going on, but you do know what's going on, and it's terrifying. And it just keeps on wrapping up the tension.
and you can watch it again.
Oh yeah,
And you still feel the tension.
Right.
yeah.
Right, because it's really well done tension making. Yeah.
It's the birds with aliens.
Right. Yes, and that's great.
Yeah.
All right, now moving on to number 88, Bringing Up Baby.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one. Hey, there you go. That's some fast talking craziness going on right there. That's some good times. So what happened is Hollywood and the film industry as a whole goes from silent films, where like if people are going to say dialogue, you're gonna have to hold up a card and be like, and then you can move on with your story. And now you can actually do sound. And so it's like, well, let's make this movie wall-to-wall talking as fast as people can go with just nothing but one-liners and zingers. And so you just got a lot of that going on, and it's great. It's great. It's a lot of fun. This is back when people were talking really, really fast, and it's just really great because you just got all this fun stuff going on, and it's just words and fun
Let's
stuff.
slow it down.
Wow,
Whoa.
talking slowly is tight.
I guess we're gonna have to go ahead and link you to that one. I have not seen this film. If Luke thinks it was pretty fun, maybe I'd be willing to give it a shot. Because I've heard about like sort of the fast talk and that era of film, but I haven't really seen much from that. So I'd be willing to give it a shot. But that title ain't doing anything for me.
Well, to be perfectly honest, this was a movie I saw on the list and had no second thought about. And then Luke started talking about it like he was so excited about it and so fast and so good. And it was funny one-liners and I'm kind of interested in seeing it now.
I'm having a hard time remembering which one because there's also like His Girl Friday, which fits into that same kind of mold. Bringing Up Baby, I believe, is a tiger panther, something like that. So like they end up with this wild animal that's from the zoo or what. I don't even remember. I do not remember the plot at all. But like it's one of these movies where like just people in these situations just and where do you go and what do you do?
I heard Tiger and Panther, which I
One-
never
one of
expected.
those? I don't know.
never expected that to be in the film Bringing Up Baby. So once again, that title is doing nothing for me. But now I'm very curious.
And now we're gonna watch it and it'll be like, Luke, that was nothing like that. And I'll be like, oh, I guess my memory's really bad.
All right, moving on to number 87 is 12 Angry Men,
Okay, and I assume this is the black and white.
1957.
Yeah. Okay. I have definitely seen this. It's a very good movie. I can elaborate. Have you seen this movie?
I don't think I have.
I know that I haven't.
I think
Okay.
I've seen scenes.
This is a movie that's it's a play. It's basically a play in movie form, and it's very compelling. It's highly plot dialogue driven. There's definitely strong characters, I say, but it's kind of there's 12 characters, right, and they're all debating this situation. So the plot is all the jurors of a court case are basically unanimously agreeing that this one person that was on trial should basically be convicted of the crime. And one juror says, I don't buy it. I have a doubt. I have a doubt that this person actually did all the things. And the movie progresses from that situation to everybody slowly but surely being convinced the other way and why. So it's kind of a courtroom drama, even though it never is actually in a courtroom. It's a character study. It's a characterization study. It's actually got some stuff in there about not only like what's the point and like what's our duty here as jurors, but stereotypes against different people and how the jurors are interacting. It's a really, really good film. It definitely, again, it's one room. and it's essentially a play. Kind of reminds me of Aaron Sorkin, like an Aaron Sorkin movie, but it was earlier. And Aaron Sorkin learned from that kind of a film. So I would definitely recommend it. It's not too terribly long. It may sound boring that it's black and white in one room, but don't let that throw you. It's pretty interesting.
I've seen video essays on it. So yeah, it seems fine. I would watch it.
Cool. Moving on to number 86, we have Platoon.
I have seen that maybe, but it's a war movie, and so I don't remember much of it at all. And I may be mixing that up with Patton, which of course that's not the same at all.
That is incredibly different, sir.
War movie that both start with P. Clearly the same.
Here's the thing about Platoon. I haven't seen Platoon. I know the cover. I know
Right, the
there's
cover. Yeah,
there's that
exactly.
moment of
Yeah,
the
yeah, exactly.
and I
Is
don't.
there anything else in the movie?
I guess I should just watch it just to see if I will cry during that moment, because I have a feeling that I won't. I feel like it's partly the surprise of that happening, but I should probably give it a shot. I think it's the movie that puts Oliver Stone on the map in a lot of ways, probably more than even Born on the 4th of July or other things like that. I think it's probably the more well-known one. I'd be curious to watch it, but I'm not necessarily overly curious to watch it. I don't think it's going to be. I don't know. I don't know how I really feel about that coming in. So
See, and I did watch Born on the 4th of July, and now I don't want to watch Platoon.
Born on the 4th of July does not make you want to watch anything from Oliver Stone. It's not a fun story at all.
Well, Born on the 4th of July is the sequel to this movie.
Huh.
The sequel?
Wow.
It is a film of a trilogy of Vietnam War films directed by Stone.
It's not okay. So like
So
a
not a
spiritual,
true
a
sequel.
spiritual
Right,
successor.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. The closest I've seen a Platoon is Tropic Thunder's opening sequence, which mocks it viciously, and I knew enough to know it was mocking it, and I loved every second of it.
Oliver Stone is really happy about the Vietnam War.
All right, moving on to number 85, we have A Night at the Opera. No one's even heard of it.
Again, these titles for some of these films. When was this made?
A Night at the Opera is a 1935 American comedy film starring the Marx Brothers.
Oh, I have seen this.
Marx Brothers.
Okay, I have seen this one. Okay.
Now it
Yeah.
comes into focus.
Yep.
A
Yep.
Night at the Opera is dumb, and the Marx Brothers. Oh, okay, I understand why you called it that. Okay.
Right. Well, okay, and yeah, this is quintessential slapstick humor. So like, if you don't know what slapstick humor is, people actually getting slapped. Like this is the move. Like this is a movie to help you understand what's going on when it comes to slapstick when people are talking about that. I actually think that like Charlie Chaplin is more enjoyable, far more enjoyable than the Marx Brothers. But the Marx Brothers, they've got their witty lines of dialogue and like scenes that happen.
And there's Buster Keaton in there too, right?
Yeah, Buster Keaton's also on that, but he's not in this. But like,
Right, no, he's not in this
same
movie,
thing. But Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin are more on the silent film side of this, whereas these guys like they say things like the lots of lines of
'Cause
dialogue
30s,
and like going up into pretzel vendors. And
I
don't even
presume
know.
that they are predecessors to Three Stooges.
That's a good guess. Probably, I have no idea.
I think they are. It's probably a movie I should see.
Okay.
It is interesting because the humor I don't think carries over. Like it's from that era. It's the slapstick humor of that era, and you watch it now and you're like, okay, I can see how that's kind of funny, but like it feels really, I don't know, juvenile, immature now, right? Because
Sure,
it just doesn't fit with anymore, right? I don't know.
There's part of that even with more what I would consider more modern day slapstick comedy that is very childish and immature. So
Ace Ventura, right?
yeah. Oh yeah. Watching that again, I remember enjoying Ace Ventura as a kid and watching it again, and it's just like, okay, it can end now. I'm okay. I'm over this. So I mean, I think it is what it is, but in terms of maybe the moment that this film had in bringing slapstick comedy to what it is, I mean, from a milestone standpoint, I guess you kind of have to put it on the list, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'd be willing to watch it, even though I do expect that I'll kind of be like, okay. I mean, again, I can give it 30 minutes, 10 minutes, and then probably get the idea and get out.
just YouTube the like scenes.
And there you go. But there is something to be said about watching the whole film and see how they did it all. But
And there's probably more social commentary than I'm aware of, right? Because like it's the Marx Brothers going to the opera, right? So it's like it's like, you know, you've got this like new low art of film, and they're going to the high art of the opera and making fun of the whole situation, right? So there's probably a whole lot more depth to it that, because I'm so far removed, you know, like it doesn't even mean anything to me, which happens with other movies that we'll get onto on this list, where like I'm 30 years later and I'm like, whatever, I don't care, you know.
Side note, for the best cinematic night at an opera seen in movies in recent years, check out Rogue Nation.
Oh my goodness, check out Rogue Nation for all the reasons, but that reason is also really awesome, including the yellow dress. Oh my goodness.
Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, check it out.
Oh my goodness, watch that.
I'm not even sure what you're referring to, but do watch Rogue Nation. Yes.
Wait, have you not seen Rogue Nation?
No, I've seen all of them.
Oh, okay.
I just don't know the reference.
They go to
Wow.
he goes to an opera.
He goes to the opera. You've got Rebecca Ferguson in a yellow dress.
Yellow dress assassination.
The assassination thing. There's like multiple shooters. Like what? Okay.
Calm down.
That movie's amazing.
It's great. Fantastic.
Okay. Moving on to number 84 on the list, we have Easy Rider.
Oh my goodness. So that movie.
Whatever, dude. Screw this movie.
Okay, so basically, this is a movie where it's about people riding their motorcycles, experiencing freedom by being high all the time. And I'm pretty sure that the director was like, let's make this movie because then I'll be able to be high all the time. And the cinematographer was like, being high all the time sounds amazing. So it's like watching the movie is like being high all the time without any of the fun. It's awful.
I haven't seen the movie. I should probably at least watch a good chunk of it just to get an idea of what it really is.
Yeah.
But yeah, for all those reasons and everything I've ever seen about the movie, I'm like, I could care less about your freaking road trip high movie. I do not care.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. Okay, and this is where, like, I'm very curious. Like, I watched it in film school. Like, why is this a movie that's so important? I do not understand. I watched the film. I do not understand why this movie is important. And it might be important because it's like a certain part of American history or something.
Yeah, I feel like it's cultural.
I don't care because it's a terrible movie.
But that, I mean, I feel like a lot of film school trying to show you movies that's like, this is what film can be. This is the things that films can do. It's not just your typical blockbuster story, right?
Like, hey, films could be The Revenant. Like, stop. Like, movies suck.
I understand.
No,
I get that.
You're probably right. It just, yeah, it was. Yeah, there's a dream sequence where they're all high, and it involves like a cemetery with like angel statue, like whatever, like what, and then they like ride off into the sunset on their motorcycles with like the American flag helmet, and like don't care.
Yeah,
So I've actually seen a lot of these movies, man. I'm
drug
feeling great.
movies, more than you thought you'd seen. Yeah, based on that, I know I haven't seen it, and I know I don't want to see it. So we'll move on. Coming in at number 83 is Titanic.
Wait, what? Like James Cameron's Titanic.
That is correct.
Beat out the last 17 or something movies we've been talking about.
That is correct.
The hell?
Okay,
No.
so I have not seen this movie purposely. I intentionally did not see this movie. But in film school, one of my professors was like, so here's how you know that a movie is going to be expensive is you walk into a production meeting and the director comes in and says, what we're going to do is we're going to go build the Titanic in the Gulf of Mexico and sink it.
I want to be very clear here. Titanic, if you want to check out Lindsay Ellis's essay defending Titanic, she does a great job. Titanic is an
Link below.
effective film. There's a reason why it was really popular. It's not because the love story is great. It's because it's a well-made movie. It is structurally good. It is intriguing. It's well done. It certainly was top of the line visual effects and all that.
And
so,
James Cameron is good at spectacle.
James Cameron's great at spectacle, and he is a very, very competent filmmaker for very broad common denominator audience. So I'm not trying to say Titanic is the worst movie ever. I'm just saying I don't know how it beats out Pulp Fiction, Goodfellas, Toy Story, and others that we've been talking about. Easy Rider, of course. Easy Rider can get kicked out of here, no problem. But Titanic is going to beat out. I mean, that's a very, to me, it's a controversial ranking on that film.
I mean, from the standpoint of how that movie did in the theaters, I get it. But understand that when I finally saw it in the theaters after it had been hyped so much, my response was, especially at the end, was, well, that was lame.
But your heart can go on.
Your heart can go on, though.
My heart has gone on to this day. I am still here.
Do you still have the
living and
necklace?
breathing. No. Do
That's
I
a
care
big
about
question.
the necklace?
What?
Do I care about the necklace?
What necklace?
Luke hasn't seen the movie.
No, I know what necklace
Okay.
you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
All right. Would you rather watch Easy Rider or Titanic?
Oh. Can I die first?
I don't know.
I would
Probably.
just look at runtime and go with whichever one is shorter. I don't know. No, I think I would be up for watching Titanic at some point. It's just I'm not feeling any compulsion to do so. And back when I was like, yeah, I don't need to watch that movie. That was when I was much younger. So now I could be like, okay, I could watch it. But in fact, I might even have the DVD back there.
He hasn't seen it, but he has the DVD.
No, I'm not saying I do. I might.
If you hate everything that's going on in that film, including the love story, all the characters, you can at least be happy when the one guy falls and hits the propeller and starts spinning really, really, really fast.
I mean, I do like the idea of like Titanic in Super 3D or whatever. That video is amazing. Link below.
I mean,
Titanic's worth
okay.
a watch.
Let me say this about Titanic. If they had cut out all like the present day stuff in the movie, I think I would have enjoyed it.
It's just the
immensely
framing
more.
device. It's a solid framing device.
And James Cameron really likes the ocean. Like that's one of his things.
That was when we started to realize it.
Right, but like
We didn't know, and there was like he's like I guess we knew the abyss though.
Yeah, but the abyss.
But we thought that was a one-off, and then you did Titanic. He's like he just wants to be out there.
Yeah, and he does. Like apparently, like he makes a movie, makes billions of dollars, and then just goes and like snorkels for like 15 years, and it's like I got another film in the ocean.
Guess what? Avatar 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 is going to be about
The ocean.
of Pandora, the Avatar world. I'm assuming it will be a blue ocean because of
Blue people.
blue people, blue ocean. How will we tell them apart?
But we're not blue people living with a blue ocean.
That's accurate. We should move on.
Okay. See, if that was 83, 82 is Sunrise, a Song of Two Humans.
Two humans. Wow.
Hold on. Is this a silent film? Is this pre like early 30s, earlier?
Is a 1927
Yeah.
American silent romantic drama.
I have seen this. Thank you, film school. I have seen this.
And it has humans in it.
It is the song of two humans, very silently.
So
For a long
it's
time.
It's a song that people have never heard.
It had its moments. It really did. Granted, you gotta realize this was a night class. One of our like, hey, let's watch old movies at night classes. And
I actually like that class a lot.
those are always great classes. It's just that at the end of the day of all your other classes, I gotta go home, and it's like we're gonna watch this black and white film called Sunrise, a Song of Two Humans. And you're like, I could really use some nap time, or like
I would
Anyway,
have used it as nap time.
having watched it. It's got beautiful cinematography. It does a great job of indicating to you the emotional like headspace of characters with no words really. In fact, I think it's pretty minimal even in title cards or like dialogue is pretty minimal. So it's pretty effective. Now, it did, again, modern sensibilities. It did feel long to me. It did feel sort of like, why are we still walking through this? I don't care about this at all. I feel like I've already got this. But that's just because, again, patience may be different, or how long it takes for a concept or emotional headspace to really sink in for an audience might be a little different than what it used to be. But it's certainly not a bad film, especially considering what it is, what era it comes from, and what the technology was at the time.
I am curious to see this movie based on what you've said now, just from a storytelling standpoint, because I think that's one of the things that more modern films have lost, is this element of showing versus telling. And the silent era of film had to be the showing side of things. It had to be good storytelling. I think even Star Wars, one of the reasons I like it is because it did such a good job of showing rather than telling. And so I think there's a certain art in that we've actually lost in the American cinema.
Just understand that, at least my experience of this film was that there are moments of really great understanding of what's going on in emotional headspace and storytelling. It also gets a little ethereal, abstract, kind of like, and that's why I think I got bored, where you just get to the point where you're kind of like, I don't know why we're still doing this. I'm not connected with you. And then another scene will come along. You're like, okay, I really am connecting to the character. And another scene comes along, like, I don't know what we're doing. So it can be a little hit or miss, I think.
Okay. Well, that brings us to our last of this 10 film set. Coming in at number 81, Spartacus.
Spartacus.
I am Spartacus.
I'm thinking of that thing you do now.
Yeah.
Nope.
Didn't think so. Spartacus is Kubrick, right?
Yes, sir. Spartacus is a 1960 American epic historical drama film directed by Stanley Kubrick.
I mean, HBO, no, Stars did a mini series.
That has no place in this conversation.
It has the same name, and it was like, violent and sex and stuff. But this is Kubrick.
It has no place in the same. Is nowhere close to this film. I don't even care that its name's the same and it's in the same time period. It is nothing even remotely close to that at all. Spartacus, the film from the '60s that was directed by Kubrick, is actually pretty good. Again, another pretty good one. I think it's. I don't remember. I think it's a little shorter than Ben-Hur. You have to look at the runtime, but it felt a little shorter to me than Ben-Hur. And it is. Ben-Hur is long and it does some good things and it keeps you going, but it's kind of a bit of an odyssey to where you can kind of get a little lost on the point of the story, I think. Like, what the character's driving towards the entire time, but it kind of goes on little bunny trails a little bit more because it's a bit more of an odyssey, a journey story. Spartacus is more, it's tighter. You definitely get this like slave having a revolt coming out, his story, falling in love, you get all these beats that are very, it's Gladiator before you had Gladiator, right? Like, that's what this movie is in a lot of ways. Very different, even storyline, but it's similar things. Rome, slavery, gladiating arenas, trying to have an uprising, so on and so forth. And Spartacus has one of the thing I remember about Spartacus is the end. So if you haven't seen it, go ahead and I guess have you seen it?
I have not seen it. No.
And you haven't seen it either. So I won't say anything. So these guys can maybe have a chance to watch it sometime. But the end of the story is powerful in its own way. It has a situation that I don't recall seeing in any other story, at least up to that time, or certainly realize that this was maybe one of the first movies to depict this kind of a moment. And it's heart-wrenching. And it's a tragedy, and it ends the way it should, but it's not a heartwarming film. Let's just put it that way.
That sounds sad. I'm not sure I want to see a sad movie.
Well, if you're a slave trying to rebel against Rome, how do you think it's going to end for you?
Not well.
Boom.
For the record, Spartacus is only 15 minutes shorter than Ben-Hur.
Well, it felt like it.
All right. So that's our 10 movies for tonight. Gentlemen, what is the recommendation from these 10 that you would make for our viewers?
Run through them again.
Yeah, I need to run through them.
At number 90, we had Swing Time. 89 is The Sixth Sense. 88 is Bringing Up Baby. 87 was 12 Angry Men. 86 is Platoon. 85, A Night at the Opera. 84 is Easy Rider. 83 was Titanic. 82 is Sunrise, A Song of Two Humans. And 81 is Spartacus.
12 Angry Men. Go watch it now. It's really good, and it's not too long.
I mean, Easy Rider is
First, heavy amounts of drugs. Then, heavy amounts of Easy Rider. Then, more drugs. Then, more Easy Rider.
And you'll
you just
watch
keep
it.
that loop going for the next year of your life.
Decades.
which
Yeah.
we do not recommend.
Not at all.
For the record.
No, go check out Bringing Up Baby, and then leave a comment about how terrible it was and how much I don't remember that film at all.
Yes. I think the film on. I mean, there's so many that I want to watch. You've already mentioned Bringing Up Baby. You've mentioned 12 Angry Men. I think the other one on this list that I am most interested in seeing, even though I haven't seen it, is Spartacus. So I'll put that in there as the recommendation, and maybe you and I can go out and enjoy that film. Thank you so much for joining us again. We'll see you again next time. And who knows, we might be doing another 10 movies from the list.
Thank you so much for hanging in there with us.
And, if you have something you'd like to see us talk about, or if you'd like us to stop talking about something, feel free to leave a comment. And hit that bell. Don't hit the bell. Please don't. Just do what you want to do. We're just happy you're here.
Goodbye.
You going to go back behind the couch now?
No, I'm not.
Go back to from whence you came, sir.
No.
Okay.